Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Call of Duty World War II. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Winter Siege event is finally here. New weapons have been added to the game. Winter Carentan is now available. We have new orders, new contracts, hundreds of new items have been added to supply drops, so we're going to be covering all of that here in today's video. But before we get into that, I would like to apologize in advance for my voice. Of all the days, man, of all the days for me to get sick and my voice to start dying on me, today would be the day. Let's start things off here by talking about the brand new weapons. So as you guys can see, I have the Gewehr 43 rifle, but I also have the Sten submachine gun and the GPMG light machine gun. The best part about this entire event, in my opinion, is when they added these guns to the game, they added them in an incredibly consumer-friendly way. So you can get them one of three ways. What I personally did is I saved all my armory crits since the game came out, and as soon as the event went live, I went to the quartermaster, I went to the collections, and I bought a variant of all three of the weapons. It was that easy. I had them immediately, and I was very happy with that. But if you don't have any creds saved up, you can go and talk to Major Howard in the headquarters. He will have a special order for you to complete 50 multiplayer matches, and if you do that, you will get the base variant of the Sten submachine gun. Now, it has not yet been confirmed, but I think after that happens, you will then get another order to get the Gewehr, and then another one to get the GPMG light machine gun. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but that's just my estimation based on what we know so far. And finally, the third way you can get weapons here in this game, of course, would be through supply drops. Not very happy about them being in supply drops, but at the same time, they made it so we can buy them with armory crits. They made it so we can get them via challenges. What more do we really want from them, right? There are three different ways to get weapons here, which I think is actually a very good system. You may be wondering, how good are the weapons themselves? You may be thinking, well, maybe I want to buy one of these things, so I'm not sure which one to actually go for first. I'm going to give you guys my first impressions of the new guns, but keep in mind, I don't have the actual weapon stats available to me. They're not yet pulled from the game files. We don't know exactly how good they are, but I did do some testing in a private match, and I used them in the multiplayer, so I can give you guys my personal thoughts and feelings on the weapons as a whole. Let's start things off here with the Gewehr 43. To me, this is a very interesting rifle because it's semi-automatic, it has very low idle sway, virtually no recoil whatsoever, and a 10-round magazine. What really separates it from the rest of these semi-automatic rifles is you can actually fire this gun faster than any of the other semi-automatic rifles in the game, which is a very good thing. It actually feels like rifles used to feel like back in Call of Duty World at War, which I'm personally a giant fan of, but the downside is the Gewehr has very bad damage by comparison. So it's a 3-shot kill up close, which is similar to the M1A1, and it actually drops down to 5 shots at a distance. I've got to tell you guys from experience, it feels really bad to have to put 5 shots into somebody with a semi-automatic rifle to be able to take them out, though thankfully that 5-shot kill range is very far away. Most of the time it's going to be a 3 to 4 shot kill, so far I'm enjoying the gun. I think it actually is one of the better semi-automatic rifles in the game, but time is going to tell how it's going to play out. To me, it feels like a slightly better version of the M1A1 because you can actually fire it faster than you can fire the M1A1, and it's still pretty much a 3 or 4 shot kill at most ranges. Next up, we have the Sten submachine gun, which I'm sure is the one people want to hear most about. To me, this sort of feels like a slightly better grease gun. Now, we did testing in a private match. I had help from a subscriber, James Sync HD, and together we found that it actually has a very similar fire rate to the grease gun, slightly higher than the grease gun, slightly lower than the MP40, and it's also a 3-shot kill up close, which will drop down to 6 at a distance. So it kind of feels like a grease gun to me. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for the actual stats to come out, but to me, it feels like a slightly faster shooting grease gun, which is not a bad gun at the end of the day. It's a middle-of-the-road SMG, if you ask me. So far, again, based off my very limited experience, it could change. It could be overpowered for all I know, but so far, it feels like a very middle-of-the-road submachine gun that's fun to play around with. It's not as good as the PPSH or the Tommy gun, but it's a solid all-around SMG. And finally, we have the GPMG light machine gun. This thing, in real life, is based off of the Beretta 30. But in the game, it's pretty much based off the MG42 because thanks to our testing, we found that this thing has the same damage, the same range, the same reload speed, the same idle sway, pretty much the same recoil, pretty much everything is identical to the MG42. The only differences between those two weapons are the GPMG fires between 5 and 8% faster than the MG42, and it has a 30-round magazine by default, which definitely hurts it quite a bit. As you can see here from this clip, I want to kill this guy. I really really do, but it takes forever to reload, and we have a 30-round magazine on a weapon that fires very quickly. So based on my personal experiences with the weapon, it's really fun, it's powerful, it's a good gun, but it's very similar to the MG42, and I'm not sure if it's actually better or worse than the MG42. Again, we're going to have to wait until those actual weapon stats come out. Now, aside from the weapons themselves, we of course have Winter Carentan, which you guys have been watching throughout the entirety of this gameplay. I am a big fan of this map personally. It's a remake of a Call of Duty 2 map. They did make some changes. For example, they got rid of the basement, and they have that hole in the wall in that one building, which is kind of off-putting and connects them where they shouldn't be connected. But by and large, it's fun to have this map in the game. They have a hardcore and a regular Carentan 24/7 playlist that actually gives you double experience right now, so be sure to utilize that. And apparently, it's also been added to every other playlist in the entire game. So basically, what Sledgehammer's done here is they have added a 10th map to the game for everybody to play for free, which obviously is a pretty good thing. When it comes to new contracts and new orders, be sure to actually pay more attention to Major Howard now, more so than normally, right? Because he's going to have orders for you, which are going to give you winter supply drops. And of course, winter supply drops can give you the brand new weapons. So be sure to check in with him every single day, and be sure to go ahead and check out the contracts. They've actually reworked the contracts a little bit. They are not as expensive, and they actually seem to be a little bit easier than they were previously. So be sure to go ahead and do your contracts, because you can get winter supply drops from there. And in those supply drops, we have so much new stuff. Honestly, a lot of it's filler. What they've actually done is they've made it so emblems are now a thing you can get in supply drops. They made it so armory credits are things you can get in supply drops. But they've also added 19 new calling cards, 20 new pistol grips, lots of filler stuff, but at the same time, actual guns and actual variants are in there as well. So be sure to try to get as many Winter Siege supply drops as you can throughout the entirety of this event. It started today on December 8th, and it's going to be running all the way until January 2nd, with lots of things being added. Right now, gun game is not in the game, but it's going to be coming later on down the line. They haven't really given us a ton of new information about what's going on with that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys here in today's video. Thank you all so much for listening. Winter Siege is well underway, and I think it's going to be a pretty awesome event. I am very excited to play some more Winter Carentan, very excited to unlock the camos, to do all the challenges for the Gewehr and the Sten and the GPMG light machine gun. All of them are pretty fun guns to use. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of today's updates down there in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.